Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, switching to my radio voice. Today I have with me Risa Ryan, founder and CEO at UnRetire. Risa, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
Thank you, Tony. Thanks so much for having me. It's going great.
My pleasure, my
Great.
pleasure. And according to LinkedIn, you are in New York and we're recording January 30th
Yep.
in what has thus far been a particularly cold year
Oh,
uh,
God, it's
for
been
for
awful, right? Yes.
for most of the East Coast. We had snow in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live. We had snow in Florida, which is insane,
Yes.
which would lead me to believe that New York has been really, 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 really cold.
It's been really cold today. It's actually not so bad. I think we might have even hit almost 50 yesterday. Really, really nice, but we're still January. So we've got a long winter ahead of us, I'm afraid.
I would expect so.
Yeah.
So we always give the guests a chance to give the elevator pitch. What is UnRetire?
Perfect. Yeah, I'm happy to give the elevator pitch. UnRetire is a platform, and it's a platform that connects companies in the insurance industry, whether they are insurance companies, agents, brokers, reinsurers, MGAs, any kind of business in the insurance industry that has project work that needs to get done. And it connects those companies and that project work with retirees who left the industry and maybe it's a couple weeks into their retirement, maybe it's a couple months, maybe it's a couple years, and they're starting to rethink, oh, maybe this isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe I was sold a little bit of a bill of goods and I really do want to stay connected and I really do want to keep my foot in the door. It gives those folks a chance to stay engaged, and pick up some project work. So I firmly believe to my core that we as humans were made to produce, and we should not stop producing when we hit 55, 60 years old. And this is a way to hopefully bless people who have retired, but then also bless insurance companies with all of that expertise and knowledge that has left the industry.
Okay, so the our industry is very interesting. We people tend to stay forever. Many times at the same company for 30,
Yeah.
40. I've met I was literally at a 50-year anniversary party at Liberty.
Wow,
When
nice.
that incredible, yeah, but lots of
Yeah.
30 and 40 years in the industry. Um and they build a ton of experience, obviously, during that time. And then as an industry, we're not very good at getting that experience to carry down to the next generation.
Yeah.
Uh, we have this retirement problem for the whole 15 years that I've been in the industry. We've been talking about the upcoming retirements, and they're here, right?
They're here.
We've been hit by them hard. Uh, Before, there really wasn't a way, especially if you come from a large organization, there really wasn't a way to uh, stay partially active
Yeah.
unless what I've seen, lots of people want to have much more flexibility.
Yeah.
uh yeah.
Exactly.
So I do think that there's definitely a need. um
Part of what happened is that flexibility. It really kind of became underscored during COVID, right? During COVID, everybody's working from home. Everybody liked the flexibility that offered. I can get my work done, but it's kind of on my hours if I have to run for an errand or whatever. The flexibility was there. And people who were close to retirement, that were maybe a year, 2, 3 years away, and had probably enough money saved, all of a sudden decided, you know what? I like this flexibility. I
mhm.
like being home. I'm not going back. I'm checking out. And they did, and they called it the Great Resignation, or now it's termed the Silver Tsunami. So yeah, it's created an incredible void for insurance companies who have lost that institutional knowledge that like you said, people stay for 30, 40, 50 years at companies. And when that walks out the door, not only are you losing kind of all that expertise and that knowledge, but you're losing the institutional knowledge. These are the guys that not only do they know where the coffee machine is, but they also know who knows what, right? They know the people. They know where to find the answers. And when they walk out the door, it leaves an incredible void, I think, for the younger generation.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
We're right. So what is that model like? You called it a platform,
It's a platform.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So when it comes to retirees, basically sign up, let us know what your skill set is.
Yep, yep, it's
Okay.
so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unretire.io is the website.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to the website, you say, there's a section on there that after a little logo, you say, I'm a retiree looking for a project, or you say, I'm a company looking for expertise. And so if you're a retiree and you're looking for a project, you click on that section. It takes you to either create a profile if you haven't been in yet. So you create your profile. You can create your title, like maybe it was your last title, maybe it's what you call yourself now. It's whatever you want. You say, what lines of business are you an expert in? What is your field of expertise? Is it claims? Is it loss control? Is it actuarial? We've got hopefully every expertise covered. We actually had a company that is posting a project, and it's an ERM, so an enterprise risk management. We didn't have that one, so we had to add that. So we're kind of still in the learning stages there. But so you identify your expertise. You identify what kind of work arrangement you want. Can you be in the office? Do you want it to be hybrid? Do you want it to be remote? Your compensation, your hourly rate, what do you charge? And that honestly is about it. So it takes all of 10 seconds to create your profile. And then once you create your profile, you log into your portal. And then in your portal, you'll see all of the projects that have been posted. And then and they're just project cards like you see on, Indeed or LinkedIn. It's a project card and it will give you the details of the project. You can save it to review later if you want or bookmark it. And you can also apply directly online. So if you just hit apply, it's just an easy apply. It just quickly sends your profile, which you also you can upload a resume and you can put in your LinkedIn URL. So it sends that directly to the company. They get notified that somebody's applied to your job and they can have a look at it. So that's on the retiree side.
Mm-hmm.
On the company side, what you do is you go in, you create a profile for the company, and you post a project. You post a project by including a description of the project, the title of the project, duration, what you're willing to pay, what are the work arrangements? Do you need somebody in the office? Where is the office? Is it remote? Is it hybrid? And then the whatever kind of free form qualifications or any kind of other details related to the project that you want the retirees to know. And then you submit it, you review what you just put in. We're charging $500 per post per month. And once that's posted, you have access to all the retirees. You can invite a retiree to apply to the project, or you can just review all the retirees that have already that will be applying. So it is so simple and so obvious that it's kind of hard to believe that this hasn't been done before. It has
Yeah.
been done. It has been done in other industries. There are platforms like Upwork and Fiverr and People Per Hour this isn't new, obviously. Um, but those are platforms that are really geared towards either the tech industry or creatives. So like videographers, photographers, content providers. There's really nothing that services the financial services industry. And so, we're starting with insurance and we're starting in the US. We've got an amazing level of support so far and in the US, but also in Europe. My background, I've worked for a lot of large global companies and have met loads of people in the UK and Europe, and people are just chomping at the bit to get this there as well. So that's on the roadmap.
Okay, awesome. So the model is simple and transparent. So
Yeah.
500 bucks per post per month, and beyond that, we're, we're not charging you 30% of the
Nope, nope. You know why? Um I don't want to be involved in that transaction. Right. I don't that opens up all kinds of other issues
Mhm.
that I don't want anything to do with that. My mission and it's my calling is to make sure that these individuals who built the insurance industry and who contributed for 30, 40 years and have built up this incredible expertise are in a position to make sure that the younger generations still have access to it. When I was a young underwriter at Munich Re a lot of years ago, and there was an older underwriter. He's probably younger than I am now, but back then he was like 1,000 years old. And I'll never forget him. I went into this underwriting this it was a Fireman's Fund Entertainment treaty renewal, and I was new to the account. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I went into this referral meeting thinking like we were going to underwrite this together. Well, I got my head handed to me. And he explained to me what his role was as a referral underwriter, what my role is as a treaty underwriter, and what I learned from him during that process about underwriting, about even just the way the underwriting department was supposed to work was invaluable. I did not do that again. And so without somebody who's seasoned and has that expertise and that maybe a bit of an edge with the younger kids coming up to teach them how things get done. I think the next generation is at a huge disadvantage, and companies then are also at a disadvantage because they're losing out on that all of that wisdom that the older folks like Peter have to offer.
All right, and
Yeah.
so it sounds like it's not overly prescriptive on the type of projects. It doesn't have to be 40 hours a week for X number of weeks, or it so
It
it sounds like it's purposely formatted to anything within financial services.
It's anything in financial services. And, I say financial services because right now we're in the insurance industry in the US. I do think we will go global. And I've gotten a ton of interest from the banking sector. So I don't think we will stay in insurance, but financial services will say for now. And no, the projects are whatever needs to get done. And we're working on getting two posted. So just maybe a little bit more of a background. We go live on the company side, charging for the posts on April 1st. On February 17th, we are opening it to a select few insurers to post more projects. We have a couple up now, and
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of testing those as we go, but the full launch will be April 1st. And the projects are anything from ensuring or underwriting guidelines, creating underwriting guidelines for companies, ensuring compliance with what rates are filed versus what companies are actually charging, making sure that those are in line. We've got loss control inspections. You name it, anything, any kind of reconciliation in the finance department that needs to be done. They can be, or like this ERM project that we're posting on Friday. It's anything like that's a 6 month to 9 month project. We've got projects that are just 3 months, anything shorter than that. And they range from, um, $20 an hour to 500 plus an hour. It's really across the board. And I think we will appeal to all disciplines and retirees from all walks of life. So I just it should be easy, and I think the price point is perfect because it's not a it's not a huge procurement play. So you don't have to go through, you shouldn't have to go through procurement. You shouldn't have to go through HR if you just need something to get done for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Pay the $500 and get somebody in. And I'm going to say the other thing that I just love about this is that you can get the best of the best for whatever project you have. So right now, on with the top 30 insurance companies, top 10 reinsurers, top 10 brokers, there are roughly 20,000 job openings. And each one of those job openings is made up of projects that aren't getting done. And so, if you've got projects that are not getting done because those jobs are going unfilled, you can get on UnRetire and find the best people for those specific jobs within that, or those specific projects within that job description. So I think it definitely solves a short term, or it provides a short term solutions for some longer term problems.
Okay. Okay. What is the origin story? So how did you realize
Ah.
that this was a need in the industry?
So it it hit me it hit me during COVID, actually. I was at a company and people were leaving that I thought should stay. And I've always thought that. I've seen a lot of people over the years that have left the industry and retired, and it's always kind of boggled my mind how people retire, or why people retire. If you spent 30 or 40 years hopefully doing what you like, why would you stop doing it? It just never made any sense to me. And I guess part of it is, I look at my dad's an actuary. He just turned 86 and just officially retired from his last client in August at 85, and only retired so that he could focus on writing books. He is also a novelist. Um, he loved what he did, and so why would he stop doing it? And so it's has always been baffling to me why people stop doing what they love doing. And I think the idea of working to not work is really bad, right? And that's what a lot of people do. They work to not work. And I think it's bad on a lot of levels because it gives or it sends a message to the younger generation that that's how we should view work. We should view work as something that we shouldn't do. And that's not good. I don't think it's good for the individual. I don't think it's a good message to send to the younger generations. I don't think it's good for companies, and it's definitely not good for society because now all of a sudden you've got people work who are leaving at 60 and they're not producing for 30 years. It's a 30-year vacation. Like that's not good for the economy. So all of that has always, always, always bothered me. And then during COVID, more and more people started leaving, and I thought, wow, this is not good. It's not good for me as an employer because we had people that were working on our business that were leaving and leaving a gap. And that was problematic. And then then I objected to their leaving, to their leaving and checking out. So I thought, boy, I know how to fix this. And I am sort of a closet coder. And so I thought, all right, you know what? I'm going to build a platform. And so I started building the platform like nights and weekends. And um, I have a son who's a computer scientist. And so I roped him into this, and he honestly picked up the heavy lifting. I kind of told him at the point where he knew that he knew more than I did from a coding standpoint. Um, he took that over, and I just kind of went with the vision, the strategy work. But then life got busy. I took a new job and didn't have time to really be, kind of playing around with this. He ended up going back to school, and he didn't have time. And so we kind of let it just go. And then in May of this year, I started working for Hyper Exponential, which is an amazing startup. They're probably not really a startup anymore, but they're a SaaS company that sells pricing platforms to the insurance industry. It's an amazing company. They're doing amazing work. And so I joined them to help launch the US operations. And we did that. They've hit the ground running. They're doing an incredible job in the US. And as I was doing that, I thought, boy, I should be doing this with UnRetire. And so I ended up in August, took on an advisory role at HX, and said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to put my head down and do it. So I did. I hired, we've got 4 engineers. These kids, and I keep threatening them that I'm gonna introduce them all on LinkedIn over the next couple of weeks, kind of like one by one. Here are the magicians like that do all this amazing work. They're just absolutely incredible what they can do. I wish I could do what they do. I can't even come close, but I do know what unretire should look like. I do know what it should do, and I am very clear on our mission. And they're just incredible. So the 4 of these, they're software engineers, have developed the entire platform, and they have opinions. They were funny when we started. They said that they really thought we should have a subscription model. And I was like, no, 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 no. It's going to be just fee-based, no subscription. This is my baby. This is my idea. You guys, stick to coding. And sure enough, I've talked to a couple investors who love subscription models, and I've talked to a couple of companies who would prefer subscription models. So last week during one of our meetings, I kind of had egg in my face and said, "You guys are right. We need to do a subscription model." So that's on deck. But yeah, these kids are not only are they incredible scientists, but they're also great business people, and they've got good vision. They've got great ideas. So we have those 4. Then we have a designer, and she's a designer kind of strategist, does a lot of everything, just amazing. and then two marketing folks. And yeah, and it's just an incredible team, and we're learning a ton. There's a lot to learn. But it's a really great team, and we're just so excited for April 1st to get this up and running and getting the jobs posted.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
when this goes live, I'll tag both you and the company on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
And it'll probably middle of March, so that it's right before lunch, kind of thing.
Perfect.
Uh,
Perfect.
and yeah,
Excellent.
I agree with the basic thesis that it's something that can really make sense in our industry, and I love that you're keeping that you're keeping it simple, and the pricing uh, also simple.
Yep.
A lot of the platforms get overly complicated, and they take a huge cut for making the
It's
connection.
crazy. It's crazy. They really do. And it's enticing, and it's enticing because some of these jobs are worth, 30, 35, $40,000. And you think, ooh, maybe I should take a cut of that. But no, that's not our mission. Our mission is really to make sure that the expertise and all of that experience and all of that knowledge is still available to the insurance companies. And I think if we stick to that, and if we stick, as you said, to the simplicity in it, make it easy for companies, make it easy for the retirees, then we will be doing a good job, and we'll be doing what we said we were going to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.